All right. Welcome. I appreciate you taking a minute and being with us today on the newest edition, the latest episode of In My Room, the podcast, Parent Edition. Hey, this podcast is designed to give you an extra tool in your tool belt as you disciple your son and daughter, grandson and granddaughter. And we appreciate you subscribing and listening today, whether this is your first time or you're a loyal, faithful listener. And regardless, hey, I appreciate you listening and being with us today. Hey, this is a really cool episode because this Wednesday night we have been talking, and it is student testimony night. And this is something that we do as a student ministry 1 or 2 times every year. And we've been doing that last, 4 or 5 years. And what a great experience it is. We tell our students every time, and this is something that we're going to share, or what we shared with our students tonight, is kind of 3 things. Is that as a student and you're listening to your peers give their testimony, we do this for kind of 3 different reasons. One, we give our testimony because we want the Lord to get praise, right? We want the Lord to get the glory for what he has been doing in our lives. It's not about us. It's not about our righteousness, and it's not about us checking all the boxes. No, it is about God and what he has been doing, and we want to give him the credit. Every student, we're going to have really 5 different students sharing tonight, and it will be 5 completely different testimonies, and I love that. And so that we tell our students, that's the first reason why our students are going to give a testimony, is because they want to give God praise for what he's been doing in their life. Second reason, what happens is when our students give a testimony, is that we know that those in the audience are going to be encouraged, right? They're going to be encouraged because they're going to hear something from their peer, and it's going to encourage them because they're going to say, wow, this guy or this girl went through something similar to what I am currently going through. And what an encouragement to show me that if God can help them see them through it, then he can do the same thing for me. So it's such an encouraging thing for our students when they hear their peers give a testimony. I love that part of it. And because you can just almost watch our students in the audience, and as they're listening to these testimonies, you can just see light bulbs going off, and you can almost just see the encouragement just falling all over them. And man, I just love that so much. And the third thing is it really inspires our students when they hear these testimonies. Without fail, every time we have a student testimony night, we will have other students who did not give their testimony, and that's completely fine, right? We'll have other students that didn't. They will come to me or one of our other leaders, and they will say, hey, next time I want to give my testimony. Every time, without fail, we will have multiple students that do that. And that is such an encouraging thing, right? We will have students tonight that will give their testimony who would never have dreamed about doing it a couple years ago, right? And that's how it works. And they were probably encouraged and inspired by the students that paved the way before them. And so that's why we always tell our students that if they're kind of on the fence about giving their testimony and sharing about what God's been doing in their life, we say you do not understand the benefit that this is, the fruits that will grow from this because you decided to take a step of faith and share this with your peers. They'll be encouraged. They're going to be inspired to want to give their testimony down the road. And man, you just really don't know how the Lord is working 5 years down the road with these testimonies. I fully believe that. And we'll have students that will give their testimony in the spring because of a friend that gave it in the fall. And so for parents, here's what I want to do for you. This is a very short version of our podcast this week because there's no material from Pastor Clint. I get to just be there and facilitate and cheer on and celebrate our students. But parents, here's what I want you to do. Maybe you know that your student gave their testimony tonight. I want to encourage you. And maybe they practiced it with you. We encourage them to do that, to practice with you or a friend. If they didn't practice it with you, ask them about it. Say, hey, tell me what your testimony was about. Would you share it with me? and then ask them, just get them to give you some feedback about how it went. Maybe you're a mom or dad and your student didn't give their testimony tonight. This is a great opportunity for you to give some next steps for your student. Ask them, hey, tell me about some of the testimonies that were given tonight at church. What did you think? Get them to give you some real feedback and say, hey, who ministered? How did the Lord really speak to you through these testimonies? And then challenge them to take some next steps. Say, hey, were you inspired? Were you challenged to maybe give your testimony the next time that Pastor Clint offers it? And if they kind of act like that, they may be on the fence, and that might be something that they would really consider doing. Next time, encourage them to do so. Drop me a text message or a DM or an email and let me know that your student is kind of on the fence and maybe that they've been inspired, that they would like to check. They would like to give their testimony next time, and I'll follow up and I'll help you along that way, and so we can celebrate together. We love student testimony night. It's always an exciting thing when we get to do those within our student ministry, and I appreciate all of our support from all of our parents. Again, we had 5 students that's going to be giving their testimony, and I celebrate our parents for cheering them on, encouraging them to do so. And moms or dads, you keep doing that. You keep doing that, and you challenge your students that didn't maybe share tonight. Encourage them to take that next step when we offer it again in spring. Hey, we love you. We appreciate your partnership. Thank you for listening to In My Room, the podcast parent edition, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.